don't understand why all the black and green. I really.
This is a shift in gears, a sharp turn from convention.
So yesterday afternoon was this. Let me see if I can say this right. The stake F1 Sauber stake F1 team, Sauber stake F1 kick team, Sauber stake kick F1 team. Anyways, yesterday's was stakes F1 team presentation. Sauber, blah blah blah. You know how this works already. They also showed the racing suits. I will not show the racing suits here because maybe I will, maybe I won't. Not sure. Maybe I will, but they look like they were tailored after Mario Kart ripoff from Wish. I really don't like the look of it, but that's just me. Again, it's so subjective; it doesn't really matter. But the thing is, black and green, it can be well, it can work well, and it does in certain situations, but you actually need to tailor the amount of each color and how it combines with another. Going to the car here, the car is here. Let's go. So the car looks great. I like the look of the car. I think that black and green and red. I'm sorry. Black and green and red and black are good color combinations as a pure aesthetics perspective. And I think in the car they have pulled it off. On their suits, not that much, but that's just me. That's me being highly subjective with my opinions. So it really depends on what your preferences actually are. Okay, that's total preference. The car itself. Now let's start with the presentation. So at the time, the presentation was presented on Kick, on the Kick streaming platform. So everybody was looking on Twitter, everybody was looking on YouTube, and of course it had to be on Kick, right? It's part of the sponsorship. It's right in the middle of the front wing, so it had to be Kick. So it wouldn't be for sure on YouTube or any other streaming platform. It had to be in Kick, and it was confirmed it was on Kick. It was a big shift on presentation and a big shift of feel. If you remember last year when we were still looking at the black and red, beautiful black and red Alfa Romeo, it was a quite different presentation. It was much more cozier, family-like, much more subdued, if you wish. Much different than this year. It was just this big bang. Being Stake, one of the sponsors, that's not really too much of a surprise, right? It's kind of their flair. So it's something they actually work towards too. So yeah, so no big surprise there, but it was a big flare compared to last year's presentation when we were still talking about Alfa Romeo. Yeah, it was a great presentation. For a minute, I was not sure that if it was live or not, but it was actually live. I'm convinced that it was actually live. Put it down in the comments below if you think otherwise. But yeah, it was live because afterwards you saw some shots and some snippets that showed people taking pictures with the car, Valtteri and Ozzoy taking pictures with the car. So I had to believe it was actually live. It was a very good presentation, around 1 hour, I believe, maybe a little bit less. To the point, a completely brand shift. So they went for something more family-like, something more fun. Great stuff there. And when the car was presented, it's here on my screen, I'll put somewhere in the screen also. I immediately noticed two things: the rear wing, the front wing, and the suspension in the front suspension, especially the rear wing and the front suspension. The front suspension are quite different from the ones we have seen so far in other cars. Of course, everything can change until the first testing. They can change everything around, and things can be very different when they present a car on track. And there's going to be something there to reveal too, I'm sure. But for the first, I saw the car being revealed when Valtteri and Ozzoy started to unveil the car. I looked at the front wheels, and the suspension looked different. And afterwards, when they were doing the presentation, and being interviewed, the engineer actually said, "Yeah, we have a custom suspension. This is a custom setup we have built. This is something we have built from the ground up, and yeah, this is different. We're trying something new, which is quite nice to see. Something refreshing, something new, and also the rear ring. It has some Red Bull last year vibes around it. Of course, the rear rings will change a lot throughout the season, throughout the tracks. I am aware of that, but in terms of visual impact, I noticed something different. The front suspension is going to be something more permanent, more permanent. It will be there in the car throughout the season with side changes, but it really had something new to be seen. And he explained that it actually was something they had developed in house in hopes of getting some better results. So yeah, lots of black. The reasoning. They can convert the black ink to pure carbon fiber at any time, and they can gain some seconds, or not seconds, but you know what I mean. They can gain some time just by doing so. Good looking car. It looks good. We're going to have lots of black. Until now, everybody got black in their liveries. There are some hopes, but there are some hopes on other manufacturers. I hope Alpine will bring lots of pink. I hope Aston Martin will bring lots of green. Of course, Ferrari, I hope it brings lots of red. So there is hope for some splash of color in the future manufacturers that are still to present their cars for the 2024 season. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you actually saw the presentation on Kick or not. Let me know if you agree with me or disagree. Put it down in the comments below. Like and subscribe, it really helps. And I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.